what are we doing?
Hey YouTube, this is AdrianOni22 and Bo Titan. This is episode 2 of our Valhalla Nights 3 walkthrough. And we're just going to kind of leave off where we were. I accidentally kind of skipped over like a little bit of control tutorial, but if you're playing the game, obviously you've already seen that and you know how to move.
Controls right now don't matter until we get out to the field anyways.
Yeah, controls are pretty basic.
Alrighty, so here we go. Here you are with your
That's your posse, man.
Emma.
And we're going to mention right now, there's a reason why this game is rated M for mature. There is a little bit of nudity in this game. I mean, when you create a female character, you can control how big her bust is.
Yeah.
So,
anyways.
And there's even secret armors that are skimpy swimsuits.
Anyways, let's not even care about this story. So here you are in a prison that looks like a small town, which is...
Because the prison used to be a castle. So they treat their prisoners like they're part of an army or something. So when you guys dies, oh no.
It's ridiculous, it really is, because I really don't understand how this is a prison, but it's not a prison. So, people get struck down. Awesome. To be honest, this cutscene isn't even needed. Chances are you'll never see these people again. And why they have swords and shields and armor in a prison is beyond me. Just saying.
Because everybody's after this damn treasure that's going to grant them any wish they want.
But it's a prison, so still. Just doesn't make sense.
I didn't have to.
So, Susan and Julio go off, do their own thing. They're really not important.
No.
Then let's get this guy.
A little bit of glare.
This guy, he's like, he gives you your first armor. Not really good armor, but this
Here, have some crappy armor.
But it's armor nonetheless.
It'll get you started.
And you get weapons.
Very basic weapons.
So here's a tutorial of the camp menu. We'll go through this even more.
Yeah, we'll go through it in detail. But we'll get to that part a little bit later. Probably when we get out to the field. Be the best time to do it.
Okay, so little background story. There's things called families in the prison. Families are like...
They're like gangs.
Cliques, clans, whatever you want to call them. They run the prison other than the Empire itself. You get to meet a couple of these families. You get to do whatever, but in all honesty, with or without you, this game would still carry on.
Pretty much.
So, Carlos here, douchebaggery.
And Paul's just there.
He's not bad, but he's not good either. Don't get too attached to these characters. They'll eventually leave your party.
Yep. I call them the two Stooges at the beginning, and then you get a third one later that are forced into your party.
Well, they're not bad characters at the time that you actually get them, though, so... It's just, you don't want NCP characters. You want your own. You want to build your own characters.
Yeah, it's more fun that way.
So
with Carlos and Paul, what I usually do, this is just my personal playstyle. I don't even worry about allocating their points or nothing. If they die, yippee for me. If they don't, well, then I have some fighters on my side. So you get a total party size of 7. So
let's take a look at our equipment. So here you are. You have a mace and a wooden shield, and you have the fast armor. If you notice, it actually makes your defenses quite bearable in the beginning. And since we're a priest, obviously we're going to be a little bit different than Carlos, who happens to be a fighter. Even with the same armor, the only thing that changes is specific stats elsewhere. since we allocated all of our stats at the beginning into intelligence, that's what we're going to be focused on. So right away we want to set up our commands. Our commands do help us with in battles. So since you're going to be the healer, let's get rid of these for now and put aid on your first command. And then we can actually put attack and defend here. This is what makes you the commander.
You tell your people attack. And then, just so you know, when you use the attack command on your party,
they focus on one.
The enemies will target you.
Or if you do defend, then they come to your aid. So, being that, again, you're going to be a commander, you want to keep your party fully healed as possible. So we have our first quest. Let's continue. Our first quest does state we have to follow this yellow flag.
Okay, so if you're in an area close to your quest marker, then you will have a yellow flag on your map. If you're nowhere near it, then you're not going to have a flag pointing you in the right direction.
So you kind of got to guess where to go.
Yeah.
So more story.
And on top of that, there's, like I said, there's very little information on this game. So if you Google where is Prison Outskirt 3, you may not find it. So that's why we're doing this walkthrough.
Now this is Paul. Paul he's an elf. He's a fighter as well. He just wants to fight right now to see how well you do. So here we go. We get to learn how to battle now. So X button is your weak attack, triangle is your strong attack, parry, guard, it depends on what you have. If you have a shield, you're going to guard and parry.
If you have a great sword, you're also going to block.
So square button does the boost. Boost gauge, I've never used the boost gauge, so I'm really whatever.
Yeah, I've never used that too, I don't even know that existed.
Circle is it's a dash. It allows you to, if you're being targeted, at least run away. You can follow up a dash with a dash attack. You just gotta wait for the timing, and then you can lock onto enemies with R. When you chain attacks, weak attacks will start to chain together. The higher your chain, the more experience you'll get. So this is a very simple battle. We just lock on, and we attack. So that's how simple that battle is.
Now when you level up, you get a bonus point, or a battle point, or whatever it's called. That's to be allocated to your stats.
Unlike RPGs, your stats don't typically raise by themselves. Now they do go up based on your class, but you also have to do it yourself too. So there's two different stats. You have your base stats for your character, and then you have your class stats. With the battle point, you get 1 battle point per level, and you can allocate that to your actual class as a character, but not to your class stats. So I'll show
Basically, it goes towards your base stats. What this allows you to do is to be able to balance yourself out, so you can switch between a magic class and a fighting class if you wish to do so, for example.
And to be honest, priest isn't a bad attacking class either. We're only using the priest as a base, though.
The main goal for our main character right now, and I think it's okay for us to mention this early, the best class that you want to aim for your main character is probably going to be Shaman, and we'll explain why when we get to that point, when we make our character a Shaman.
Shaman is just, it's way too good, but it does take a little bit to build up. If you can
get it as early as possible, you're at an advantage.
Yeah. The easiest way to get it early as possible is go online to the PlayStation Network and download it.
It's $2 per card.
For a price.
Yeah, it's $1.50 per Shaman card. But even still, it's worth it. Because, I mean, you spend $2 on the good cat food and $2 on a Shaman card.
You're set for the rest of the game.
Pretty much. You have potentially infinite gold, as well as an insanely powerful character to start off the game with. Now, if we go over here, this is going to be where you pick up your items for the...
Now you have to save before you can pick it up, so...
The third slot.
You don't have your buttons allocated. So you actually have to touch it. So you actually have to slave before you can pick up your DLC.
So she's not going to let us...
Not yet.
In there. And then the other lady, she allows you to do ad hoc or online versus. This game doesn't have a co-op like previous Valhalla Night games, but it does have a versus.
Which you can get battle points, and then you can spend those battle points to get cool items. We haven't done it yet, but we probably should.
Probably.
So your best advantage in this game is going to be anything that hits multiple enemies. Multiple enemies. Any spell that'll hit multiple enemy, even if you have to cast it multiple times, will put you
let it charge.
Will put you at a huge advantage.
If you're going to be a fighting class type character, attacks that do knockback are going to save your butt more times than you can count. And there's a lot of those, so you don't really have to worry about, you know, having to work super hard to get those type of things to help you survive. Because knockback's going to stun your enemy, so your priest has a chance to heal you. And that's where you buy gifts. Now, this game kind of has a feel of a Japanese red light district. That's the description that the game creators used. Because one of the guilds, there's two different guilds where you can accept quests. There's one downstairs in the lower slums, and there's one upstairs in the Star Guild, where basically strippers...
You have to pay a hooker just to accept a quest, so...
Yeah, you have to pay anywhere from 250 gold to 500 gold to be able to talk to her, but you also get better character creation, you get better quests, and stuff like that. Only thing is, you don't get to buy equipment up there.
You can buy equipment upstairs.
I haven't been able to in a while.
You can buy equipment upstairs at all. Again, you have to hire a hooker to buy equipment.
And by hire a hooker, we mean you actually get to touch her.
You get to... Yeah, but we're not going to even touch bases on that until we can do more. Again, we're just here to help you through the main story right now. So that was a little backstory on yourself. Who cares?
Basically, you're an Imperial spy for the Emperor because he won a fight against you and put the mark of death. So basically, if you don't do what he says, you die.
Yay.
Which, I mean, the mark of death becomes kind of a turning point in the game anyway.
So now Paul has joined your party, and you can recruit up to 4 clan members. So
now we can make our first character if we wish. And I believe the DLC is now available. I'm not sure.
It should be. We're not going to make our first character until we unlock the beast, though. So let's go back to go talk to Nina.
Now, for this run through, I already pre-bought some items to help make this a little bit easier.
Nope. Carlos won't let us.
No, Carlos wants us to go to the guild star thingy. Left, there you go.
Again, just follow the yellow flag on your marker.
Also, a huge advantage to this game over other Valhalla Nights, you don't have to fill out the map by walking around. You simply touch the map on your screen, and it opens it up for you, and you can tell where you need to go. Which I absolutely love. Because, I mean, if you're someone like me who's been playing Valhalla Nights since the first one, and you hated having to fill out the whole dungeon...
Charlotte is actually she's a weird character. She's one of those hookers.
She's the juggalette. She's the pimpette, basically.
She's actually very interesting. She has a unique ability to absorb people's souls and keep them in her body. why you think this is interesting is beyond me, but it actually comes to a viable point in the story. There is a quest that you can do for her. She has you go hunt down a skeleton king. You go kill the skeleton king and come back, and you get to fight her, and you get really good passive skill. So we will be doing that eventually. That's one of the side quests that I do recommend doing.
Another one is going to be a quest, I believe, after the Three Stooges leave your party. You go to a cave and you fight 3 boss battles worth of slimes, which I'm sure anybody can guess what those are. Slimes. It's actually not that easy, but in this game there's a rare encounter with a slime that's golden. Gives you a ton of gold and minimum 5,400 experience just by killing it.
I've gotten maximum of 4,000.
I've gotten 5,400.
I've gotten 4,000 from the gold slimes.
Bam. So. Anyway, you get a lot, and you do 3 battles, and each one has at least one. So it's a good quest to grind on.
And these quests get easier once you get...
And you get 10,000 gold for completing it. So. Only thing in that one, you don't get the gold from it. Or from the creatures themselves. Because they're boss battles. So what was that about?
That was all about the Star Guild and sexy time and all that fun stuff, which...
Yeah, so sexy time is where you get to touch the horse.
Yeah.
Wear gloves, they have diseases.
Probably, you're in a prison, so... Alrighty, so Carlos was being a whore with the horse, so...
Yeah, he's all like, you.
All these characters that we're actually meeting do have a viable part in the story, just not
right now.
Yeah, they're just kind of...
So now the Empire has fallen. That was the whole, you know... And yes, that is a possible Star Wars reference.
So yes, the Empire fallen, so we are Imperial spies.
And now everybody knows it and they all want to kill me.
Not yet. They don't know you're a spy yet.
That's true.
They know you're a spy after you start doing stuff. So Informer Kudo, I think, is a halfling. You don't really look halfling-like. Maybe a dwarf.
I think he's a dwarf. Former Kudo, I can never find the guy when I need him.
That's because he finds you. Ooh, so we've finished our first quest.
Yay! Quest completed.
This game is actually very linear, unlike the other Valhalla Nights where you're just like, what the hell do I do? This actually will tell you what to do. So now we get to go assassinate a spy. Let's go do so. Marked to the death. Yeah, we're just trying to get out of here.
Okay, so I believe at this point in the story we can now go and grab our DLC. For this run through, if you guys remember, I did recommend shamans. I'm kind of doing a challenge. For this run through, I did purchase 4 shaman cards.
No challenges. We don't need challenges right now.
Well, I'm going to do...
We just need to help these people.
Pretty much, we just...
So, these bad guys want to fight us. We don't even know who they are.
Basically, I bought 4 shaman cards, that way have options.
So now that you have a bigger party,